Well, we definitely learned some even more heartbreaking news, and that is that 7-year-old boy who was also shot in Joel Osteen's megachurch there in Texas was indeed the son of that shooter, 36-year-old Genesse Moreno, who entered the megachurch, opened fire. What we're learning now, she had anti-Semitic writings on her. Back in 2016, an emergency detention order was issued for her. She's got a mental health history, and now, sadly, it looks like her son, with whom she brought with her to this church, was in the car with her. She brought him inside the church when she got into that gun battle with police. He was shot in the head. We have not confirmed who shot him, if he was shot by police in that shootout, if she shot him. But apparently the officers had body cams on them. Also, there were cameras in that church. And you heard the police chief right there, Houston Police Chief of Police Troy Thinner, saying within 30 days, they're going to release those videos and we're going to see exactly what happened. She did threaten also that she had a bomb. That proved not to be true. Police did lay that out as well. And also that they're not going to speculate on a motive. They just laid out her mental health history, that she had anti-Semitic writings on her. There was talk that on the buttstock of her rifle, her AR-15 that she used to open fire, that there was a Free Palestine sticker on there. That is not the case. It was just a sticker that said Palestine on that rifle. She was of Hispanic descent, by the way, but her ex-husband and his family are indeed Jewish. They believe that possibly her anger, whatever it was that she was channeling at the time that she entered that church, a Christian church, by the way, if you're familiar with Joel Osteen. The megachurch is a Christian church. He's got a following that's global, known as the Smiling Preacher. I'm sure many of you that are listening right now have read his books. You may watch his services, but he is definitely a force within the Christian community when it comes to megachurches. There was talk that he was going to go to the presser that we just watched live with all the law enforcement agencies there. But here's the statement that he did put out yesterday, and we'll see if we can indeed get what he said on camera there and bring that to you. But that was Joel Osteen that you just saw talking to reporters, possibly yesterday, maybe today. But his written statement said, "Our community is devastated by today's events and grateful for the swift actions of law enforcement. May the healing hands of God touch the lives of everyone involved and provide comfort during this difficult time. In the face of such darkness, we must hold on to our faith and remember evil will not prevail. God will guide us through the darkest of times, and together we will rise above this tragedy and stand firm in our commitment to love and support one another. In times like these, our faith is tested, but it is also strengthened. We don't always understand why things like this happen, but we do know that God is in control. Please join me in continued prayer for healing and peace." Joel Osteen putting that statement out on X, formerly known as Twitter. Bob Boyce, you were also listening along with me. You are former chief of detectives for the NYPD. A couple of questions remain. Police said that Genesse Moreno actually got through security, apparently had the gun, threatened that security guard with the gun, and that's how she was able to get into the church. But it doesn't seem like, and this is my first question to you, do we know if that security guard was armed or not? They didn't seem to clarify that, and reporters didn't follow up and ask.
We didn't, and we don't know exactly when she said she had a bomb, and that could have been at that time. So she showed a weapon and forced her way in, and then she was engaged in a hallway before they got to the church area. And I'm just guessing on what I've been told here. My experience tell me that she is immediately met by the two officers who engaged in a very close quarters gun battle with her, and she had superior weapons, and they probably had firearms, sidearms, as I can consider at this point, and in uniform because they had the body worn cameras. Which, if you work uniform details, and you're allowed to by your police department, you do work in uniform, and you wear the uniform of the day, as we call it. That could be where that body worn cameras come, and we'll know more when we see that. But it looks like they got to her before she got to the main church and saved a lot of lives. And he spoke of extra magazines and extra ammunition. We didn't get into specifics on that, but I'm assuming in that bag she had that. And she had the backup gun as a .22 rifle. The part about the little boy being her biological mother should have been put out immediately so we understood better. It was so sad in so many ways. And we don't know exactly the back and forth with her husband. But Kira, here's really interesting. They talked about an emergency detention order for mental health. We don't know the date on that. We don't know how long ago that was and when it happened and the circumstances of it. So these are really important matters to go forward. Now, in fairness, the Houston Police Department gave out a lot of information this afternoon, and that's important to note, that we know more about this than we did before.
And I'm looking at Joel Osteen's website right now for his church, for Lakewood Church here, his mega church. And just right on the front, he's got February 11th, 2024, and he has his statement there. But that's all. And with regard to what you see online there on the Lakewood website. But he did put out this statement. Apparently, he did talk to reporters at some point. We'll see if we can get that sound gathered and listen to that. Another question that remains is, who shot her son? And clearly, this is a complicated situation, as you just mentioned. Everything's happening fast. Those two police officers, Christopher Romano and also Officer Herrera, are the ones that exchanged gunfire. They happened to be working there at the time, and they're the ones that immediately went after her and exchanged gunfire. Now, you did hear one of the officers there at the press conference say that once she was down, they immediately went for the 7-year-old boy, her son, and to get him to safety. But it's not clear right now how he was shot. Is that your understanding, Bob?
It is. And right now you understand the fog of war. And I'm a trained police officer, 35 years. You put the gun out in front of you, you cover your target as best you can, and you try to eliminate that threat. And that's how these things happen. At this point, the person who owns responsibility for this is Miss Moreno, not these officers that happened to her son. Let's all pray for him that he comes out of this. But that's a tough wound for a little boy to go to sustain. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Fog of war. You're in close combat, in close quarters, and you're just trying to survive and end that threat to save other lives. And that's what happened here. That's what really happened here. And we'll go forward and find that out as we go, as the investigation leads on. They gave out a lot of information early on in this. And I just want to make a note, Kira. There have been other church shootings before, not recently, but one in 2015 and one in 2017. 2017 was in Texas. They didn't have armed security at those churches, and I hope we don't limit it. We need that. But nonetheless, this is what saved the day today. Armed services, a large church with a lot of congregants showing up each Sunday in different masses. So this goes to say something about where we're going in society.
Yeah, you're right. And we should point out to the fact that this could have been a hell of a lot worse, that's for sure. Bob Boyce, really appreciate you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.